Hello students, welcome to the lecture number 6 of marketing management. In previous class, we discussed somehow the basic definitions of marketing research. Then we talked about some marketing research firms, or we can say different types of research firms. Today we are going to discuss the most important topic in marketing research, that is called marketing research process. I have told you before in previous semesters that whenever we are talking about process means that a series of activities are there which are interconnected to each other. So research process means that it is a series of some connected activities. That's why we are calling it research process. So in marketing research process, we have got some 6 different steps or stages or activities. Starting from the very first step of marketing research process, number 1, define the problem and research objectives. Number 2, develop the research plan. Number 3, collect the information. Number 4, analyze the information. Number 5, present the findings. Number 6, make the decisions. So these 6 steps or stages combinedly we are calling them marketing research process. Now we are going to explain them one by one. Number 1, define the problem and research objectives. You know that whenever we are conducting research, we must have a problem for which we are conducting a research to find out solution for that specific problem. This type of research is called applied research. What research? Applied research. We have got 2 types of research, general research. So one is called applied research and second is called primary research. Applied research, when an organization is having a problem and researcher is conducting research based on that problem to find out solution for that specific problem, that is called applied research. While primary research is that research when the problem is not faced by a specific organization, but it is a general problem faced by many more organizations, or the researcher is conducting the research to increase the borders of the existing knowledge or education, or to add something new to the existing body of the knowledge. This is called primary research. I am telling you again that in primary research, whether the problem is general or the researcher is conducting the research to add something new to the existing body of knowledge or to widen the borders of the existing knowledge, this is called primary research. However, whether it is applied research or primary research, we must define the problem and we must explain the research objectives. If you don't know exactly the problem, obviously the overall research process will be wrong and you will reach to a wrong conclusion. Here, in different books it is written that whenever you are defining the problem, you should not take the problem is very vast. Be very specific to your problem. Don't make the readers as well as yourself very much confused. Take a very specific problem and you must know the objectives of your research. We should find out solution to this problem. We should find this objective, this objective, this objective. So again I am telling you that the problem should not be confused. It should not be very vast, very diverse. It should be specific. Based on the problem, whenever we are starting a research, we are writing a problem statement in the research. It is called problem statement. What is problem statement? In problem statement, it is written that we are facing this specific problem, and that's why we are conducting research to find out solution for this specific problem. This statement is called problem statement. In defense, whenever students are coming for their defense or monograph DIFA, the first question that we are asking from them is about problem statement. What is your problem statement? If you are having no problem statement, it means that you don't have any foundation for the building of your research. Or we can say that the research is baseless. Nothing is there. You are just only wasting your time. So that's why the problem statement must be defined and research objectives must be clear. Then when these things are defined, problem is defined, then based on this problem, we are developing the research plan. Based on the problem, we are setting the research plan. Like in research plan, whenever step number second, develop the research plan. So what we are doing in the research, in developing the research plan, obviously we are deciding about data sources. At this stage, you should know the meaning of data and information. Data and information. Data and information, in general English, people are using these terminologies interchangeably, one instead of other. But in research, there are two different things. Data means raw information, rough form of information, or raw form of information, मालूमात खाम. That is called data. So data, actually it is plural terminology. Its single terminology is datum, D-A-T-U-M, datum, raw information, rough information that need to be processed, that is called data. So in research, what actually we are doing, we are converting the data into information. This process is called research. The process of converting data into information is called research. However, in this step number second, whenever we are making plan for our research, we are deciding about our data and data sources. Number one, data and data sources. Data, there are two types of data. One is called primary data, other is called secondary data. Primary data is that data that we are collecting for the first time. It is also called first hand data. Nobody has collected it yet. This is called primary data. Secondary data, the data which is already available, which is already collected by somebody else, someone has conducted research on it, that may be in book form, that may be in website, that may be in journal, that may be in magazine, that may be research articles, etc., etc. But this is called secondary data, or the secondary data is also called disk data, because that is available at your disk, in the books, in the computer, etc., disk data. So here, in this research plan, we are making different decisions, number one of which is about data and data sources, whether the data is primary or secondary. If it is primary, so how we will be collecting it? If it is secondary, how we will be collecting it or extracting from different sources. So this is called develop the research plan step number one, which is data and data sources. Step second or B of this second stage, that is called research instruments. What? Research instruments. Listen to me very carefully. What is meant by research instruments? The instruments which we are using for the collection of primary data, that is called research instruments. We have got three types of research instruments. I am again saying the definition of research instruments. The methods or the techniques by which we are collecting primary data is called research instrument. We have got three types of research instruments. Number one, questionnaire. Number one of research instrument, that is called questionnaire. Number second, observation. Number third, interview. So we have got three types of research instruments. Number one, questionnaire. Number second, observation. Number third, interview. So this is part B of develop the research plan stage, in which we are talking about the research instruments. We are deciding, we are making a plan about the research instruments, how to collect the data, what technique should we use, whether we should use questionnaire. What is meant by questionnaire? Questionnaire means a list of questions, a paper of questions for your research purpose is called questionnaire. Then interview is there, and then observation is there. Observation, when we are looking at something, observing something for research purpose is called observation. Looking towards something to collect the data is called observation for the purpose of research. And interview, asking specific question from your respondents for the purpose of data collection is called interview. So these are over here in research plan. We are also deciding about the research instruments. Number third, it is called what we are doing here in step number third of stage number second, that is called sampling. Design. Sampling design. What is meant by sampling design? In sampling design, we have got some 2-3 things. Number one, sample size. Sample size means from how many people we are collecting the data, that is called sample size. Let's suppose we are distributing questionnaires, Swalnama questionnaires among 100 people. So we are saying that our sample size is 100. Sampling design, number one, sample size. Number second, sampling technique. Sampling technique, whether it is random sampling or non-random sampling. Random sampling or non-random sampling. Sampling technique, that is called sampling technique. Random sampling, we are selecting the people for our data collection randomly, not intentionally, not pre-planned, but whoever comes in front of us, we are selecting them. That is called random sampling. Non-random sampling, it is not random, but instead you have selected some specific people for data collection. That is called non-random sampling. So these 2-3 things we are taking decision about in the second step. It is called develop the research plan. Number one of which is data and data sources. Number second, research instruments. Number third, sampling design. In sampling design, how? Number one, data in data sources, whether the data is primary or secondary. Okay. What are different sources of it? Whether if it is primary or if it is secondary. If it is secondary, so whether we are collecting it from books, from magazine, from articles, etc. So this is stage number A of step number second. Then there are number B step of second stage is research instruments. I told you we have got three types of research instruments: questionnaire, number second observation, number third interview. Then I told you the third part or part C of develop the research plan stage is sampling design. In sampling design, we are deciding about the sample. Sample means the people, the group of the respondents from whom we are collecting the data, that is called sample. In sampling design, whether it is random sampling or non-random sampling, so these three major plans we are making over here. Then whatever research instruments we collected, whatever sample we have decided over here, in step number third, we are collecting the information or we are collecting the data. We are collecting the data. When we collected the data by different sources, by different methods, based on the plans that we have made over here, this is practical step. Then what we are doing, we are analyzing the information or we are analyzing the data. In analyzing the data, we are using different types of tests which you have studied in your statistics: t-test, z-test, regression, correlation, frequency, etc., percentage. Different methods are used to analyze the data. When we are analyzing the data, this is the most important and difficult step. Then what we are doing, we are present the findings. Present the findings means we are making the report. When we are making the report, in report or presenting the findings, it means that what was the problem, how we collected the data, what were our conclusion, and what new outcomes, what findings we got over here. So we are making a report of these things. This stage is called present the findings. Then based on these findings, when we are forwarding a report to the different departments, the concerned department or the marketing department, they are taking the decision based on the research. So this is called marketing research process, which we will also explain further in coming lectures. Thank you very much, students. Have a very nice time. Be with me for next lecture. Khuda Hafiz.